Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state, utilizing Tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. So a viewer had asked if I would look into the explosion of South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Diana Goldstein. Goldstein. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And so I thought what I would do is I would look into that, and then I would also add in the munitions plant explosion in Tennessee. Now, I gotta be real honest, whenever those two, and those happened like in a relatively, short, time span, from each other. For those of you who have listened to Rachel's latest, it's been a few years, the podcast Ultra, and she talks about there was a day when the pro-fascist, we've been down this road before with pro-fascism trying to overtake our government, and they had this coordinated plan, this attack on America, and it was various munitions plants that I believe is what it was that exploded. There was a series of explosions. And so the very first thing I thought of was like, oh my God, is history really repeating itself? Now, I put this reading off just a little bit because I was waiting to see kind of what some of that initial findings were going to be. And right now, they're saying it was an accident for the munitions plant with the judge. The FBI is like, nothing to see here, move along, which we all know. If that's what they say, projection and confession. Remember, we believe someone whenever they show us who they are. So I want to look into, is there something nefarious with either one of these? Is there a connection between either one of these? And so I'm going to do a real quick search on that munitions plant. I don't think anything has come out as far as an official cause for that. Hold on just one second. Okay, I looked that up, and ATF is investigating, and so far they haven't ruled out foul play, but they also haven't found any evidence of foul play. So that's kind of where that is right now. That's kind of where both of them are, really. Even though I will say that the South Carolina, the judge one, she had ruled against Trump, and then like her house explodes. But they're like saying, oh, nothing to see here. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to look at the judge's house first. Base reading. That's what I want to do. So for entertainment purposes only, just kind of want to look at the circumstances around this the judge's home that exploded in South Carolina. South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Diane Goldstein. So what do we need to know? Base reading. Okay, and that base reading into that Knight of Cups. Also, false friend changes, and this is actually kind of a happy card, happy message card, happy changes, and this is going to be the challenge is, and with her being, and I'm seeing the balance here, the scales, she's a very fair judge. I think that obviously the administration doesn't think that she's a fair judge. So as far as the administration goes, like I'm getting the feeling like they don't care. I mean, I know, shocking, huh? Like false friend, like they're saying that there's no evidence of like that there was something more nefarious past wrongdoing, that this was caused by anything other than an accident, and that's kind of the story that they're going with. Okay, so let's see, is there any truth to that story? She was a fair judge. I mean, I get that, she's, she really, Queen of Cups. Queens are the caretakers. Cups is, like the emotions. So very much, I always say the Queen of Cups is kind of like the super caregiver card. The foundation, the caregiver. So here we have, and also the emotions part of this. A lot of emotions. And the Temperance. Let me just kind of look at this for a second. A lot of emotions. This could also be water. I wonder if that could also be gas, like if this was a gas explosion. Was there anything nefarious about this? Was there anything nefarious about this? Planting seeds for the future. They acted on it, and then they went back into, you know, with these cards here, because this is like making a plan, implementing the plan, and then like kind of sitting back and watching the plan, and also this light, like they were watching this from a distance. I think that there is too much of a coincidence for this to be just like a by chance accident. I think that there's going to be something about there's something about a gas leak that caused this explosion. I don't even know if that's come out yet. This hasn't been a case that I followed real close, because as soon as I saw it, my first reaction was like, oh yeah, this is something nefarious. And so with this, I think that was it somebody else? Was there somebody else that she, kind of ruled against that caused this? And I'm kind of wondering if like somebody wasn't wanting her to like, I'm feeling with this is equal justice under the law. Like she ruled against somebody who felt like, they deserve special treatment or something. And that this is kind of like, let me show you what I can do. Is there going to be the burden, the damn lies and the circus, and it comes to light? Let me see when will this come to light? Strength card, that could also be under the sign of Leo. The moon card, within about a month. And karma. Yeah, this one, and these are all major arcana cards too. So yeah, what I'm seeing here with this one, they made it look like an accident. I don't know. I'm not feeling a real strong connection. Believe it or not, I'm not feeling a real strong connection to like I'm not seeing like this judge did this and so therefore we're going to retaliate like this. Like that's not what I'm feeling with it. I'm feeling like if there was something nefarious, it had to do with the gas in the house, obviously. I mean, obviously it had to do with the gas. I think that the cups here was just telling me, yeah, it was the gas lines. And the gas lines that were, the gas lines that were cut. Because I'm seeing that like this, I'm looking here at like this as far as the lines, and then like the cut that was made, and that, yeah, it's going to be found. But I don't know. It's almost like this administration adjacent, kind of thing. Like somebody who, like maybe they really like Trump's policies. Whatever. And so, but it definitely had to do, it was a specific to like a specific case type thing. And I don't know that it was specific to this administration, but it was kind of like adjacent to that. But yeah, somebody did, you get the planning cards, planting seeds for the future. They implemented this, and notice all the yellow here as they like rode away from, and then they scurried back into the darkness where they could, but they did watch it. And they're watching this case now. So that's where that is. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if we found out that this in fact wasn't exactly the accident that they are trying to make it out to be. Will we find out in their investigation that there was foul play? I'll just do 3 cards. Will we find out throughout this investigation that there was foul play? I'm almost feeling like whoever did this did a really good job to make it look like an accident, but there's like something that's going to be like the tell telltale sign that this was sabotage. And I don't know, it's like there's this little thing that could have like easily been overlooked, but whoever the investigator is, like there's an investigator who looks at it and goes, oh, that's what this is. And so it's like almost something like that could be missed. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting with that. So let's see here. Will we find this out? Mad King Don is battle weary, and so somebody who kind of like calls the shots. There was somebody who didn't like a ruling, and yeah, they went ahead and, as I said, I'm feeling like the big feeling I'm getting is like exploiting a vulnerability. That's what I'm feeling. So there was something about this this explosion, and it exploited a vulnerability so they could very easily make it look like an accident, but a seasoned investigator is going to be able to uncover, like I see just like this little piece, like this little tiny piece that made somebody go, that doesn't seem quite right. So yeah, that's what, there's going to be somebody, an investigator that's like, something's not adding up with this, and they will continue to investigate further. So there's that. So I want to look into the munitions plant explosion in Tennessee. See what we can find out with that. Okay, and with the munitions plant explosion, what do we need to know about that in Tennessee? Okay, and with that one, oh my, okay, and so I just realized I'm using the Wiser Tarot today. If you guys are wanting to know which deck this is, the Wiser Tarot. Okay, well, there's the Tower card. Yep, that's what happened. That's absolutely what happened there in Tennessee. And the challenge is all the blame going around. The challenge is the fighting. Challenge is the... Okay, let me keep going with that. The Judgment card, something that... I wonder if there wasn't some kind of safety protocol that they didn't follow. Because it's like, with this card, it was like I'm getting the feeling like an accident waiting to happen. Like they knew this was going to happen. This was like some kind of safety protocol that either needed to be updated. It needed to be like they were, oh, well, we don't need to do that. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, you kind of actually do, kind of thing. That's what I'm feeling with this one. Like this was caused by human error and hubris, I guess, is the biggest thing I'm saying. Like, you know, they knew what the truth was, they know the truth, and yet they didn't want to do it, and so then their plant blew up. And the Sun card, yeah, they knew what this was. It wasn't, and the messaging, Knight of Cups, and that's interesting because I got that Knight of Cups in that other reading about the judge. So let's see, the Knight of Cups. And these could just be positive changes, you know, for safety, you know, to help keep people safe in these plants, which, you know, safety regulations with this administration, you know. Decisions that were made, the betrayal. I think that there were going to be, yeah, this is just to cut money. Capitalistic hellscape that we have found ourselves in this country is the decisions and the betrayal, all to save a fucking buck. Okay, that's what that card is there. So I'm feeling like with this, let me pull this back down here. I don't know that there's a loose connection just in the ineptness of this government. Okay. But with this, I'm feeling like it was more like this happened because there was fighting and arguing like over safety protocols. That's kind of what I'm feeling is like this was, you were told this was going to happen and it did happen. It's everybody's worst nightmare. We told you this is what was going to happen, but yet, you told everybody it was be fine. You needed to, change. It wouldn't surprise me if there's not some changes in like, they either got relaxed on the safety protocols, there was something that wasn't followed like exactly, or they were making changes to make it a safer plant, or they were wanting, there was something about the safety protocols. Okay, either wanting to change it to make it more safe, and there was pushback, like we told you this was going to happen, and look, here it happened. And it was all to they didn't, whoever the higher ups were, it's kind of like this idea of they didn't think that it was necessary, and it had to do with saving money. Okay, so let me just ask, is there a connection? I'm not really feeling too much of a connection between these two. Is there a connection? Hesitation, evidence that comes out, and even more evidence. I think that it's going to be, you're getting like they're doing the investigation. They really don't know exactly what happened. With the judge's house, I really am feeling like they don't want to look for the evidence that would prove that there was something nefarious going on. It's the seasoned investigator that is going to be kind of the thorn in the side of that investigation, by like whatever he sees, there's a hunch, there's something, and he or she is not letting it go. So there's like something about the evidence that's going to be coming out as they're finding this evidence between these two things. And I don't know that there's necessarily, I'm not saying a connection. It's more like the ineptness of those around, like that's the similarities. The stupidity of others is going to be that common theme in this, but I'm not really feeling a strong, like, there's this nefarious, fascist group that's going to, like what happened in what Rachel described in her podcast about those munition plants that kind of blew, or was it munitions? I think it was, that kind of blew up, in succession there. It's not that kind of feeling. With the judge, it's like faulty wiring. No, it's gas. It was gas. I mean, I'm just feeling like, no, that was gas. There was like something that was exploited to make that look like an accident. With this, it has more to do with like arguing over like safety guidelines. I mean, like something safety issue, and that they were told, if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen, and they didn't do it, and then that's exactly what happened. So that's what I'm getting on those explosions. I will absolutely keep watching this if something occurs with that, if there's been some movement in that. So yeah, that's what I'm getting today. I really appreciate you being here. Like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.